Hi everyone, welcome to the third and final part of this little series we've put together for vocal recording. In this part we cover EQ, compression, reverb, a bit of simple mixing and some other tips and tricks, and a bit of insight into the track that this recording is for, which is called Shipwreck Off The Coast. So originally these three videos were actually going to be one big video, which was like a diary of the whole recording process, and actually it was too long, so we split it up into 3 bits. This video in particular isn't quite as in-depth as I would have liked if we were, for example, just doing a video on EQ, compression and mixing for vocals, but I think as a whole the 3 together document the process quite nicely, and of course there's still some good tips and tricks in this one. In particular, if there's something that's glossed over or you'd like us to go into more detail on, just start a conversation in the comments and we'll get chatting. How you doing? It's the next day and I'm just going to finish up showing you some mixing stuff for these vocals what we recorded. So we're finally going to hear the actual track that this is for, so you can get some idea of context. I'll play the section with the BVs that we recorded first without any mixing. So I've taken off the compression that we had on those tracks. We've still got the corrective EQ and we've still got the tuning. There we are. But we've taken off the compressor. So the compressor so far has been boosting up everything that's really low down in the mix by basically cutting the high stuff. You know how the compressor works. It compresses the high so you can increase the gain. And that means you can hear any noises, anything that you need to edit out or rather be aware of. So that's the compressor for editing. It may not necessarily be the same type of compression you want for the mix. But anyway, first of all, from first principles, let's just hear the track. So we're not going to have Kat's BVs, and we're just going to have one of Kat's takes on the main vocal and then the BVs. Let's have a listen.
You're a city girl at heart, but maybe here it seems awfully dark and night. Stands in the vodka.
So first thing is, obviously without the compression, the level is quite low. The other tracks in the mix are quite compressed. This is just a video mix we had for recording the music video too, so it's just make sure you can hear everything. But it's not bad. It's not a bad mix, so we can use it for a demo here. The problem is it's way too quiet. So what we want to do is reduce the dynamic range, and that's what we use a compressor for. So we will now reapply a compressor, and let's just have a look at that process. So for the low ooze first. So a quick rule of thumb I use, if you find a compressor that you know from experience sounds good on the vocal or the style you're working with, you can load up a vocal preset and then adjust the input gain such that the gain reduction is about the amount of reduction you want, about the amount of compression you want. And as a starting point, I kind of look around the 6 decibel range. So it's still sounding a bit, it's not very thick, so it's not as much compression as I'd like. Let's try another one. I do like the RVOCs. So there's the compressor in action. Without it, that last note is nice and loud, the rest are a bit lacking. Anyway, and with the compressor, all the notes are a consistent volume. For backing vocals especially, where you're just adding to the harmony of the song, it's not a bad thing just to have it sound solid and consistent. Right, next part, some equalizer. So as I said before, corrective EQ, compression, and then additive or effecty stuff like EQ, like reverb. So from first principles there, I'm just taking out a bit of this noise. A little bit ringy for my liking, and then the high end. Basically the breath.
It's party time. It's party time.
Very important to mix in context with the song. Okay, we do something similar now for the high backing vocal.
City girl at heart, but maybe here it seems awfully dark at night. Dive and head first, dance in the vodka. It's party time.
Yeah, pretty cool. So a usual thing with vocal is to have some kind of reverb or space. Obviously this is a very dry sound. So what I'm going to do here is add a send for both of these tracks and have another track which just does the reverb for them. One thing that can be cool is to listen to the reverb on its own. For that, we're going to do this, which is effectively pre-fader level sends. So although these are not being sent to the main output, they are going to be sent to the reverb channel. There's a cat. Come on, boy. Good boy. So I quite like D-verb, I quite like Valhalla vintage verb. We're going to go Valhalla vintage verb today for a demo. Just a touch too much. Right, and reverb really does want to be tuned for the track you're working on in particular, so the decay length especially. If it's short, it's just going to sound like the room. If it's long, it's going to add a nice effect. Not that long. Don't quite like the tone of that, so another good trick. Equalize your reverb. Yeah, it's quite good. So decay is obviously how long things last. Mix we're going to keep at 100% because we are mixing this reverb track with the dry ones separately. Pre-delay control lets you control how big the space that you're in sounds. A bigger pre-delay can make things sound a bit less mushy as well. For this approach then I get a nice fader I can use to change the amount of reverb. About that.
You're a city girl at heart, but maybe here it seems awfully dark at night. Dive and head first, dance in the vodka. It's party time.
Cool. End section, how does that sound?
And it's okay to be a fake when you've got monsters in your head.
So we want to automate the pan there because it's right for the first ooh bit, and we want it central for the end bit.
And it's okay to be a fake when you've got monsters
In your head, feeling like like a skyscraper.
You need to climb. This blind never goes away, even in the sunshine. Surrounded by stunning scenery, but you're questioning and running from this blame. You put on yourself, so when the final low, maybe you need some help. This is proof. Are you proud? You're just a shipwreck off the coast. You're just a shipwreck off the coast.
Cool, so I wouldn't say it's exactly where I want it to be, but in terms of the concepts of editing and mixing, that are they. Those are they. Okay, what else we got? Made some notes. Got it tuned. Let's talk about that. Then we can mix. Reverb. So just as a final demo, I'm going to show you this recording, this track, before and after all the processing we just did. I'm going to try and match the level as well, so you get a comparison that's not just, oh, that's better because it's louder, which is a thing. Let's see what we can do. So before. Is this proof? Are you prone? You're just a shipwreck off the coast. You're just a shipwreck off the coast. And with everything. Is this proof? Are you prone? You're just a shipwreck off the coast. You're just a shipwreck off the coast. So, things I'd improve. I guess, first and foremost, my performance. That's why I'm taking the lessons and doing the practice every day. Second of all, I'm not sure the reverb's quite there. The EQ is a bit subtle, and I think I might try some presets on some nicer plugins that I've got to see if I can find something that pulls out the definition of the words a bit more. And then mixing the rest of the track and seeing how this blends and fits in and adds something. So we're obviously still working on this track in terms of what's left. We want to make sure the percussion's working right. There's a tom that we got that I'm really keen on bringing out. So I tried some things there, but I'm not sure it's quite right. So yes, a load of mixing to do. I will continue diligently working through this, trying to get something that really gets the original message and vibe across. And then we'll send the mix to Mr. Adam Fitch, who will put the video together, and then we will share it with you guys on YouTube. So stay tuned. Cool, so that about wraps things up for this video. Hope you found it interesting and useful. The track is coming soon, so stay tuned. Subscribe on the channel if you want to catch it before anyone else. Like this video if you liked it. Leave us a comment if you've got a question, and I'll see you next time. Thanks, bye!